May I welcome Shivagaruji. Thanks for joining.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Dr. Saili, thanks for joining.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Yeah.
How are you, sir? Ravi?
All well, all well, all well.
Thank you so much.
So happy to see you.
Same here. Thank you.
I can see Professor Ashok Patraji. Welcome, namaskar. And Professor Dhruv Jyoti ji, thanks for joining. Welcome. And we have with us Dr. Ravindra Bharadwaj ji. Namaskar.
Good to see you, namaskar. Good to see you.
Thank you. And we have with us Supreet Nagaraju, who is Head Education for Adobe. He's also with us on the screen. Welcome, Supreet, again for this session.
Thank you, Ravi. Good afternoon to all the co-panelists, Dr. Shivguru, Dr. Ashok, Dr. Ravindra, Dr. Sayali. Pleasure. Dr. Dhruv Jyoti.
So,
do you want me to just start?
We are just looking at one of the speakers who is supposed to join. Abhishek, if you can update. Abhishek?
Yes, I saw his picture for last several minutes. So it looks like he is in.
No, I think, let me just check. I think one of the speakers is like not able to join. So I will pitch in if everyone agrees.
Yes.
Like I will be in this session, and I will request Mr. Shivguru to start the session straight away.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. And so a number of you I am meeting for the first time online. And Dr. Saili Gangar, we just met, I think, 2 days ago.
Yes.
It's a pity on a panel like this. It's a pity that we couldn't meet in person at this point, but hopefully these introduction and discussions will enable us to engage in the future. So by the way, I once again, just like in the last panel, apologize if I mispronounce any of the Vice Chancellor's names, because I actually originally from Sri Lanka and I came from US, so please forgive me. Okay, so the theme of the this session is essential education for accelerating a creative career. We essentially going to focus on from the nature of the questions that's posed by the organizers, that how the lockdown and the pandemic has prompted us to very rapidly move into online mode and online education, and the platforms we use, and what innovations and creative ideas we are going to bring in that will take us away from the traditional way of education into the 21st century university. So the first question is, in the light of virtual revolution, how will the next academic year shape up for higher education? Aren't we all thinking about it, right? So, and what are the best practices institutions are bringing to upskill and reskill the faculty and students for better future outcome? So, may I request Dr. Anand Balerao?
He's not here. Like
okay. So you are going to say a few words?
Well, we are okay.
Or do you want me to go to Dr. Chattopadhyay? He's also. So,
no.
How about Dr.
Yes.
I think he is there. Dr. Chattopadhyay is there, I think.
Yes.
Okay. So please go ahead.
Your
Okay.
camera was off, so we could not stand.
Okay, okay. All right, yeah. No, because actually I'm going through a power shutdown and my mobile has got less amount of things. That's
No
why.
problem, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, good afternoon to everybody, my respected panelists and the organizers, and I really congratulate for, in fact, I was in the last phase of the previous discussion also, which is found to be a very, very informative and educative also. Now, I shall start this in 2 lines that these particular benefited the most from this new normal. I am from an university right now. We just started 2 years back. And while starting 2 years back, we have incorporated a lot of facilities for online learning. We have our own learning management system, which is based on the open source MOOCs. And that particular thing is there, and we are supposed to, all members and students are supposed to use that one. UGC, you know that for the number of years, they are trying to have their lot of different types of open sources, educations like the Swayam, like many other, NPTEL and Pathshala. All these things are there, but when I tried and I looked at to introduce that thing, introducing this, I found even before 2020 January, March, the faculties are reluctant to use it. The students are reluctant to use it, but the systems are there. So once a lockdown and other things are there, the universities are being closed down, immediately there is no other option. They have to go. You may find that what sort of strong mindset we the faculties have. We don't want to shift actually that, oh, no, there are digital divide, these are these, that. There are so many causes people started to look after. The students said, oh, I don't like it. There's all the things. And I can tell you from my experience in 21 days, I started to receive students' feedback. They're enjoying the classes like anything. The students who are not participating or their percentage is low, they are participating also. The students are not interactive, they are interacting also. And the faculty members slowly trying to develop this, and it changed the mindset. And I find that they are becoming so active regarding developing the new type of materials for giving to the students. And it's amazing from me. So that's why I want to say this new normal has made it clear to us that it is a high time we should think about a blended education, online education, which should actually come out with the classroom education. And that's my experience.
Okay, thank you very much. So I would like to remind my esteemed panelists that the organizers very strictly instructed me to tell you that everybody should just limit your comments to 3 minutes so that we will address everybody, all the points. May I ask Dr. Ashok Mahapatra to address the second part of that question. What are the best practices institutions are bringing to upskill and reskill the faculty and students to better future outcome? So, you know, we really struggled in the last 3-4 months in my institution, and my colleagues struggled, and we found our way. So we like to learn what you have done. Please unmute. No, you are still muted, sir. He's still muted, huh? He's still muted, and Dr. Mahapatra, your mic is muted.
उमर डाइनिंग छोड़ के सब साफ है But dining shaft nahi hai.
So may I go to Dr. Saili Gangar, and then we will come back to Dr. Ashok Mahapatra when you learn to unmute. Yes, Dr. Saili.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Very good afternoon to all of you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The participants, those has been the discussed and rediscussed to make our classroom and academic very, very powerful. And I think that's what is happening from last 4 months to 6 months. 18th March, we went on the lockdown. I hope I'm audible enough to. Am I clear?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, look at it, they created a great impact, especially on education and starting. That's where the complete pause has come. But thank you to the disruption and at the same time the technology which is available across the whole world, and that has made the life more easy. Having said this, of course, D.Y. Patil University Pune Ambi campus is one of the equipped campus in Pune, wherein we have all the digital classrooms and cameras, and all that help us to really gear up and impart the academic session for the students. While doing this, certain new practices we started working on immediately, and we quickly went into this transition from classroom to the virtual classrooms. And we realized that there are certain areas which we really need to work upon. So what we did is that we immediately got the training programs with our own faculty members, because that period helped us to equip ourselves, especially conducting the sessions and delivering those in front of cameras. Though the digital board in campus, we have the cameras and we had our own videos of the past semester last year, so that we started using it. As very rightly said by my co-panelist, that Government of India has taken great amount of effort to create certain platforms like Swayam, Vyas, MOOC, Moodle, all those. And in addition to that, we have our own LMS, which helped us quickly to resolve this issue. In the meantime, we also got connected with Coursera, and we have ensured that all our 100% faculties are certified by the Coursera certifications. And at the same time, more than the campus has 7,000 students, and almost 4,000 students have completed the certifications from Coursera. That added a good amount of learning to the students, and there they got a wonderful experience, that even including the faculty members, what is the content, how the content is to be delivered, how this is to be managed, especially on camera, then how we can monitor the digital FAQs, which we are talking about. We also talked about that how we can ensure the students sitting on the webinars, right? And all that really helped us, and we started working on classroom management. And second, we started working on instruction, the process or pedagogy, where we really took great effort to move from content delivery to more of experience-based kind of learning. So videos, simulations, certain projects really quickly helped us to work on this. And these practices, as I've said that, the digital platforms like Coursera, Moodle also helped us to ensure the academic delivery and prepare our faculty members. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So if Vice Chancellor Saili Gangar can so eloquently articulate from a car, we are really moved into 21st century. I can see that Dr. Mahapatra is really unhappy, so I am going to you. Sir, can you unmute? No, you need to unmute. Sir, you need to unmute.
He's trying.
So, Okay, so let me go to, let me read the second question because, and then you can always revisit the first question because they are connected.
Yes.
And so what frameworks can be explored to deliver academic freedom for institutions to design, structure and deliver creative courses in their unique ways, ensuring that the students are better prepared for job skills, in particular in industry relevant education. So Dr.
Can I come in?
Bhardwaj,
Good afternoon to all. This is Dr. Bhardwaj, presently Vice Chancellor at Sage University. Thanks for inviting me.
thank you.
I will straight go to the topic. The topic is about the creative career. First of all, let me confess to myself and to others that as far as creativity is concerned, only God creates. The human being has a potential to do good things to society. Creativity in terms of invention comes out, but not directly. Number two, India had 80, about in 1986, only 11% GER. Now it is 26.3%, and we are supposed to take it to 50%. But we should not be a degree awarding institution. There are two aspects of education. It should make the person competent. It should make the person ability to think. Secondly, the person should become empowered. How does he get empowered? The user is the industry. The user is a society. The user is a people. We are producers and they are users. And we produce people who are not useful. How do they get employment then? This is a wider question because the academicians have not visited the industry. They have not done, even for example, you take the case of IIT Delhi. IIT Delhi last year had 381 patents. But when it comes to application and usefulness of those patents, the Nagpur, the NIT Nagpur became the first one to have the biggest application of the patents. IIT Bombay has 200, the usefulness is only 11. So academicians may be very good, but in terms of application and usefulness to society has to be judged. I was continuously having a meeting for last 5 days regarding the curricular development so that the students are benefited. And I have changed, I have told every faculty, close your mindset, erase the memory you have, become a clean slate, forget the system of core courses, elective courses, and these courses, see what they, where you want the boy to go, where he wants to grow. You give him a basic understanding of the subject, but let him participate. The education should be participating. The education should be in the laboratory, not in the classroom. I do not believe, I mean, a boy who cannot run and CNC and cannot make an aircraft screw, what use CNC is for him and what use it is for the society. He has learned CNC, cutting tools he knows, but he cannot produce, he cannot establish an industry in Gujarat and making aircraft parts. He cannot. Therefore, the education purpose should be he goes out. This is one way of empowering. But society will develop and will become technologically important and grow very much because most of us are unfocused. We are learning from books. We are not seeing anything around. For example, I'd say plants can break down the water using visible light. With a single electron, they can break down the water. Can we do that? We have failed in the last 100 years. We have not been able to achieve that. Plants have learned it. Why should I be working? My next question to myself is, why should I be working at all? Am I meant to work alone or for my higher consciousness for society? So my next question is, why not people look around and see, why not I become green? Why not I also look like a plant? Why not I absorb my CO2? Why not I produce my own carbohydrate? What I'm trying to tell you, the students have to be more observant, observing all around to develop newer technologies. Health, energy, these are the bigger problems. Health sector is going to improve. So one has to think the curricula should be focused on ability and the potential of the human mind to think logically and develop the ability to take it forward for another 50 to 100 years. I believe there will be no more phones, there will be no more nothing, there will be a chip fitted. that a man can talk to 10 different people using one chip. So people have to be learning. Technology should be useful to society. That kind of syllabus should be drawn. That kind of work should be drawn. My faculty, I have asked them, erase everything you have, restart, revisit, see what has to be done. I thank you all for inviting me.
Thank you. So this question has
Can I?
like an implication that before I go to Nagaraju, I just wanted to comment that it appears that are we constrained now by regulatory bodies or anything like that to use whatever the way means why we want to bring in?
You see, I come from JNU, and where the tradition was different. Regulatory bodies want to judge only your standard, like UGC 1956 memo says that they are here to see that you have a standard.
Yeah.
Standard, that's all. Their role is not to see that you are a university or not, but it is for the executive, senior executive officer to see that what the society needs, what the people need, develop that kind of syllabus.
And come up with our creative.
Yeah, it is not for UGC, it is for me.
Yeah, thank you. So may I ask Nagaraju to comment?
Yeah, Dr. Shivguru, thank you so much. And thanks everybody for the opportunity here. First things first is the fact that need is the mother of all gods, right? Whether any regulatory body is drawing a lines on what needs to be drawn or not, it is immaterial at this stage. The first and foremost fundamental aspect, and that is what I have always believed and followed, is what is the demand of the industry. And I think today's kids are fairly smart. They exactly know what is the most important in the running skills in the marketplace to a larger extent. And then they are driving their entire energy towards skilling themselves. Many of them are getting skilled themselves. Many of them are learning from others and getting skilled. Some of them fail and then they again learn. And that's exactly the reason why you see a spurt in the number of EdTech courses getting subscribed by students from an online
That's
and
the main reason.
standpoint. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
of course.
yeah. So that's the first aspect of the fence. The second point of the and the most important factor is one of the fundamental things that you all as academic leaders encounter time and again, is
Dr. Saili, can you please
many
mute?
of you are getting questioned saying that naukri milegi, do you get a job? Will I if I do this job? It's fundamentally arising from the fact that there's ability to scout for the need. How good or how strong is the need for this particular skill or a program as an area. The third important aspect is the fact that I think competency is not just getting evaluated at a student level alone. It's vice versa as well. The student is also now coming to the institution and asking a question or getting a third party referenceability about how strong is the institution and the academic fraternity. And are they going to raise to the ulterior motive of the individual from a skill and a specific outcome standpoint. The last but not the least is the act of collaboration, right? Collaboration today has got a multifaceted approach. Can you collaborate with research institutions? Can you collaborate with industry experts? Can you collaborate with peer organizations who have been doing certain best of the efforts in that space? And last but not the least is the peer collaboration within the students. One of the most important quotient today that everybody in the industry is looking out for is the quotient of failure. And failure traditionally has been a taboo term, right? But today it's a very good term. A failure has got the direct proportionality of maturity as an area, and this comes by a larger proportion weightage given in university towards trying to do practical aspects of it, learning by experiencing. In short, what we call as experiential learning, right? Allow them to fail, allow them to experiment. Can you look at different formats of learning methodologies than just sticking only to the regulatory fence of it as an area? Can you have the flexibility to bring in the entrepreneurial instincts within the students to bring it to the real life space. So these are the things that which I personally feel from an industry view that are actually amalgamating into the academic world, whether the regulatory system likes it or not. And I think that a lot of universities in the private and public space are embracing it in the form of incubation systems, in the form of bringing in industry experts to teach them, in terms of adopting various new technologies / blended models to bring in the act of mentoring and not just teaching as an area. I'll rest my point at that, and then I'd like to hear from all of you and learn a few things that what you feel are relevant in your space. Thank you, Dr. Sugar.
Thank you. So before going to the next two questions, I also want to say a few words, perhaps to bring perspective. So my university has academic programs ranging from mathematics, physics, chemistry on the sciences side. Engineering, we have the full range. And then we have computational science research centers. It's an incubation center. Those are on the Penia part of the campus. And then this part of the campus, we are embedded in a medical enterprise, Ramaya Memorial Hospital, Ramaya Medical College, and so forth. So my university also has then health sciences programs, dental science, allied health sciences, and so forth. All of them were, to one way, degree or other, were using online capabilities. So now we want to think about how to bring in much bigger scale in the online platforms. So that's looks like the premise of this discussion, and that's a very good one. I can see that as an engineer and a mathematician myself, teaching theoretical classes is not too difficult in an online platform. But if you had to teach chemistry, or if you had to teach biology, or you had to teach dental science, pharmacy, then the practical part is an inherent part. So when I was in US Navy, once I visited the aircraft carrier and they were performing surgery with online help from the mainland USA. So I was stunned. So that was, if you can perform a live surgery with online platform from an aircraft carrier to a hospital, a big surgeon in Chicago. So then, that's what I have in mind. Looks like the future. So then how do you enable very serious experiments? Either it could be health science, medical surgery, or education, trained doctors, or pharmacy, or dental science, and on the engineering side, design, or art and design, where traditionally for hundreds of years we have relied on hands-on education and training. So now, how do you bring in, and what platforms will enable education in that full spectrum of education, not just theoretical things which we can do easily. So let me pose the question number 3, the future of universities. How to create unique academic programs that leverage individual institutions' unique strengths that utilize digital platforms. So any one of the panel members can jump in.
Yes, I would like to share a few things over here.
Yes.
Because we are talking about upskilling and reskilling, and I think you have touched a very important point where you said that how are we going to implement or teach medical the education, and you gave a wonderful examination. I would like the example. I would like to share one more thing over here, what we are doing at our university. We have a School of Architecture and School of Pharmacy in campus. What we did in case of School of Architecture, we started conducting the session of the next year, because academic session has been started from 15th of July, and we are doing it extremely well. We started giving them the demonstration from our own live studios. In case of pharmacy education, we started taking our faculty member into the labs, and we are demonstrating, conducting those sessions very effectively. Student engagement has been ensured very effectively because of all these interactions. Not only that, we need to also understand that how are we going to change the percentage which we used to use it for Bloom's taxonomy. We know it very well that it always gave a focus on creation, evaluation, analyzing, at the same time applying, understanding, and remembering. These are the core areas which have been always talked about in Bloom's taxonomy. So now here when we are trying to impart the knowledge, we need to change the composition of this triangle, where we have to now give very less focus on lecturing and more into the collaborative learning and participation. Appreciative inquiry, conducting the creating a beautiful contents which can help students, that can be shared very effectively, ebooks. At the same time, discussions and demonstrations are the more new model or a framework which we need to develop, evolve to have a better understanding. And that is what exactly we are doing at campus. Very rightly said that we have to change our mindset from content delivery to the contextual learning now. So how are we going to develop our faculty members? Entrepreneurship programs we started having with Department of Science and Technology online, and our faculty members, 2 faculty members are going to be we are sending them for attending that. Not only that, Moodle training programs are also conducted at campus. I think the whole university, the complete model is going to be reformed or re-energized completely, and that is what is the need of an hour. And therefore we need to teach, we need to train our faculty members to deliver those sessions in case of creativity also, right? Because creative or art, science, the art and liberal arts especially, we need to develop certain frameworks which can help students to acquire those skills. So this is from my end what we are doing and how we should do it. So I think a lot of faculty development programs are happening across the globe. We need to really see to it that how we can bring those in our for our faculties. We started having, yes, I forgot to mention that we started having webinars from the international organizations, and that helped us a lot, right? And Hong Kong University has conducted the architecture program Green Cities, right? So the professor explained it so well. I think these kind of collaboration and partnership will definitely help us to come together. So tomorrow you will also find that we all are going to be a partner with each other to share the resources, virtual resources, in terms of the labs and in terms of simulations. Simulations at campus are doing extremely well, and that are again helping faculty to deliver their content. So this is from my end, which I would like to share it with. Thank you so much for giving me the time to share it.
Okay, thank you. So, Dr. Saili, and yes, these international webinars, we have been also very, very active. We got arranged from Cambridge University a couple of weeks ago, and then last 2 weeks we had 2 webinars. Yesterday we had one from US, where is because it's the East Coast, so 9 hours difference. The scholars have to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, and they delivered the webinar at 6 o'clock in the morning. So you can see there is a lot of interest and new sort of energized international scholars willing to come online and help us and help our faculties and stimulate our faculty. That's a very good thing to do. And so let me post the last question, and then we can discuss. So as leaders of India's high education enterprise, how are you planning to deliver job relevant and continuous learning? Any one of you can jump in.
Job learning and especially preparing students for the job learning and developing their skill. I think project-based learning is going to help us a lot. And especially we have the MOUs with the industries. Fortunately, D.Y. Patil University, especially Ambi campus, is located at the heart of the MIDC area. So it's like almost more than 600 companies we are surrounded by. And that is giving a wonderful opportunity to us. And I'm sure that the projects which we are going to do with them, in fact, one of the company has agreed that they would like to conduct the sessions and then the projects from their campus, from their industry location for our student. So such kind of the new things. And then as I've earlier said, that the course era certifications will definitely add, along with NPTEL, SWAYAM and VAS, all are adding a great value to develop the skilling part of the students. Entrepreneurship Center, which we have established here, is conducting an entrepreneurship development program for our science and technology graduates. So all these kind of efforts, these kind of methods are going to take a huge make a huge difference. We are going to have a program with the Buckingham University, and they have said that they would like to do a lot of activities with our students. Yesterday, one more university has approached us from France, and they also said that they would like to conduct the webinars because their labs are more powerful and they would like to use it for our School of Design and School of Architecture. So all these kind of efforts are going to help us to skill our students. Online platforms, as I've rightly said, that will enhance the students' employability. Yeah.
Thank you. So I want to make a comment about.
Add in a few points, Dr.
Yeah.
Suprit, before you speak, maybe request other speakers to just switch on the camera, like, so that.
Yeah. So who has switched? Can I see? Is it Ravindra Ba? Yeah. Oh, Doctor. Yeah, you switched off the camera and you disappeared from the scene. So can you, Doctor? Is it what's your name? Dhrubajo? Can you please? Yeah, please unmute and make some comments.
Yeah, right now what Professor Saili mentioned, all the 3 points I find very important. And if you look at the last point, to make this is one of the scope for us actually to give a special online trainings with industry academia interface. And we are actually having large number industry people who are right now delivering the lectures to our students of different domains. It's not only in science, technology. I could get the from industry, from industrial houses, even for our English department students also, that how can be editor of a journal or doing things. Now, in this particular case, I find that these different type of lectures, which the students are right now could get it, is definitely going to help them. Because what we are trying to do, once we organize these lectures by the industry people on the different domains of area, we immediately follow some students feedback program, and thereby I find that not only our students, but our faculty members are also benefiting quite a bit. So I think industry people can also help us to strengthen this new type of academic situation. So I think strength in resilience is very important.
Very important too.
Thank you. So yes, it's these new platforms can offer opportunities to have classes taught by both university participants and industry experts. Thereby enabling that particular point raised in the last question, namely, how do you make the education industry relevant so that students are effectively placed? Of course, the traditional way of learning is lifelong learning. That's not only in the Indian culture. I came from Sri Lanka. That's also my perspective. You learn to understand and not for your next job. But anyway, I let Dr. Nagaraju comment. I think there is Ravindra. He's Dr. Ravindra Bhardwaj. Is he on? Otherwise, because he's switched off. Okay. Oh yes. Would you like to comment, sir?
Please tell me. Yeah.
Okay, so I let Nagaraju comment a few minutes, and then we can come back to you.
Yeah, I think from an overall, perspective of industry, and since I'm not an academician, I'm more of an industry lead. So I have a couple of observations to share. One is the fact that any decision to share a specific knowledge and applicable skills should be fundamentally based on data. And there is a finer necessity for understanding what is the lowest common denominator in your society from an acceptance, standpoint, in terms of what are the roles that the aspirations of the students in that respective geographical area, and that is the local part of it. From a global part of it as well, there's a necessity for analysis of what is the aspirational quotient, so to speak. Then moving one step further, the next aspect of it is the collaboration with the industry and trying to understand what is the roadmap of the industry and the industrial growth in different sectors, and tying them back to the respective subjects and the programs that we are seeing. I'm not saying that it industrialize the entire program by itself, but there needs to be analysis done, and tinge of it needs to be brought back in the format of skilling, maybe to the extent of 20%, 30% as an area. The final aspect of it is to bring in skills in high demand. The top 4, top 5 skills in demand, straight jacket it back into your curriculum. If you can't prepare it, acquire it, like how we do in industry. If you can't organically grow it, there's no harm in acquiring it directly from the industry, or even marry a particular organization who's a expert in that area. Work with them very closely to bring in their perspectives on building the next generation curriculum. For example, we keep hearing time and again about latest technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, AR, VR, and so on and so forth. I don't think we have subject matter experts in academics for these kind of subjects as yet. These are more of areas which probably can be handled by scientists, so to speak, and then the knowledge transfer would need to be a progress over time, a function of time. I don't think even with respect to building curriculum, is industry ready for that? I don't think industry is ready for that completely, but there can be a handshake happening in one format or the other. The next important aspect of it is expression of talent, because one of the important missing link in the entire chain, whether it is the erstwhile era of delivering some of these subjects, or even the new era of bringing in skill oriented into the UG PG format, or a skill or an occasional degree by itself, is the aspect of practicability, basing a whole host of evaluation on practicalities, which means that a student needs to have certain project works that are vetted not just internally but also externally by a third party who is nowhere linked to the academics. And last but not the least, ask and mandate the students to showcase their talent to the outside world. These are the few things that I have, to bring in the aspect of industrialized and skills relevant to the respective geographical area and also to the global world. The second aspect is on the collaboration part of it from industry side. The third aspect of this is showcasing the talent to the outside world, and this is very, very critical to bring in a 360-degree impact into the overall relevant skills and the adoption of it by the industry.
Okay, thank you. So I will come to Dr. Ravindra in a second. So I was going to point out that as far as artificial intelligence, machine learning and autonomy go, we have not only introduced 4 new undergraduate programs in AI and machine learning and autonomy related areas, but we have also revamped a number of our programs across the campus, both in engineering sciences, in the sciences, math, and also in health sciences and social sciences, to bring about AI and machine learning attributes in the instruction. So I was going to point out that there's always this tension that the industries often point out that even after a MTech degree, the students are not industry ready, right? So whereas the academics would like to cover and would take the position that we should cover the needed material so that we can legitimately give the degree. So the online platforms can enable the industry experts to come in and integrate as a part of our regular programs, participate in projects, thesis, and so forth, so that the students would be more industry ready. Okay, so I would like to go to Dr. Ravindra.
There's a great opportunity for industry and academics to come together, particularly when you are online. For example, if you want to teach boys how to make a cream, a lotion, or an ointment, there could be a direct relay from industrial side by an expert.
Correct. That's what we are doing.
And that will make them learning. But unfortunately, my experience as the industry says that the boys would not know what is even a HLB. So I'm talking about the chemistry people. MSc, he does not understand the basics which is used by the industry for doing certain job. I will also drift to another area with GER proposed to be 50, raising it from 26.3 almost 100%. India having only about 1,000 university academic higher educational institutions, 450 private, 350 government, and some 200 institutions. The burden on the society and the government and the people will be very, very large because you are proposing doubling of and with population increasing. Now, this justice has not been done. The BTech and MTech, if he is not useful and not industry ready, therefore the education has not been up to the standard. And these institutions like AICTE, those who are supposed to be controlling this, allowed it to mushroom such that even the BTech was teaching a BTech. So we are at fault somewhere. The institutions are at fault, and this has led to the disaster. There is another side of a story. If you see a son of a mechanic who repairs a scooter, he can repair without an education, although he may not understand how does a carburetor exactly function. But a BTech cannot repair that. Certain, not that I'm expecting him to be a technician or a laborer like this, but he should be understanding if he is going to work in Maruti or going to work in Mahindra, he should be understanding that kind of training is not imparted. That's why I said we are a producer and the user is somebody else, and a greater collaboration is required. The government also has to create 1,000 more universities. You want to double the GER, this cannot be doubled just like that. It cannot be. And industry ready boys, again, I say everybody may not be industry ready. I want to be a person who has the potential to create knowledge, to develop new things, to develop for the society growth, for wealth. Also, we must consider the value system of people. That is the program of new policy also. We must really inculcate a sense of value system in our boys, and we have the responsibility. So I, for one, in my university have been proposing only up to 50 to 60% basic courses, and 40% is going, what boys wants to play music, let him play. It's okay with me. I'm giving him 10% credit to him. The lockdown condition was a blessing in disguise that the university produced a lot of patent work and other things. So we should get more industry people, collaborate with them, and teach them the technology, both in our online platform as well as sometimes take them there so that they have a real learning. We have a greater responsibility now for this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I was going to point out that I have been told that these days, if you want to get hired by Microsoft or Google, you go through 5 interviews and various quizzes, and none of them have anything to do with what you studied in mechanical engineering or electrical engineering class. Well, that could be because when I look at the mechanical engineering syllabus, for example, that was my BTech degree, it doesn't look very different from what I studied in the 1970s. So, because there is a culture that there is this inertia that insists that we need to teach the very traditional material, and then everything that is modern has to be just electives and you just sprinkle them, and that doesn't make them industry ready because industry is somewhere else. So I would like to further ask the panelists to comment about that last question of the planning to deliver job relevant and continuous learning education. Maybe Nagaraju?
Yeah. job readiness aspect of it is not just about sprinkling certain courses, which are considered to be vocational in nature. And I think there are 2 to 3 specific facets here. One is to do with the soft skills part of it, right? Uh, Today, it's an era of showcasing your talent in a multifaceted way, and that's where technology plays a crucial role as well. A portfolio becomes very, very critical in terms of effectively communicating what you are as a talent consistently across different mediums, because gone are the days of CVs and resumes by industry looking at hiring it, right? So they would definitely want to look at various forms of exemplary exhibits that you have done, and talent is today identified more by proof in the pudding than rather than just writing it on a piece of paper, right? So that's one part of it. The second aspect of it is looking at developing certain core areas of specializations, going from the generalized model to the specialized model of with areas of interest. You spoke about mechanical engineering as a subject of your choice during your UG days, Dr. Shivguru, or anybody else who's spoken about these specialization of sciences, physical sciences, or it could be languages area. There's always an extra element that most of the institutions would look at today. Gone are the prerequisites of a industry looking at a master's program or a civics from the university standalone perspective. There are organizations today who don't even write a UG degree being prerequisites. There are institutions who are hiring talent bases their ability to solve certain critical problems and their ability to learn things and try and go and solve some very complex problems. Google, for that matter, is an example. And many areas of research and startup organizations today are setting examples in that zone, saying that you need to be able to identify problem statements. You need to be able to find multitude of solutions, permutation, combination. You need to be able to take certain risks and go and exhibit the innovation and ability to execute certain things versus what you're saying. The say versus do ratio is what we call in industry, becomes very, very critical. So there's some finer aspects that they could look at. And last but not the least, to finish what they learn in the institution, various technology interventions like an Adobe trying to help you with picking up certain very finer skills on UI UX, or it could be partnerships on various courses like creative courses, or it could be AI and ML courses like how Dr. Sayali was mentioning about tie-ups with various institutions like ours, like Coursera's, or any other industry friends, would just add in certain boosters. They're not the core of it at the end of the day. But it's important for one to identify amongst the multitude of specializations to narrow down and say, hey, these are the few things that I would like to learn and excel in it and showcase your talent. That's the most important part of it.
Thank you. Yes, Dr. Sayali would like to comment.
Yes, I think education, and especially this particular era of technology, is demanding 4 critical areas which we can say that for the learning. One is that how can we impart the critical thinking in amongst our student, which is again very important. Second is creative thinking, where we really lag in. We are very popular for Indian Jugaad, but then can we really come into a different way of ideation and idea creation, both? Next one is very important in this virtual or webinar way or these platform is communication. And the last one is, which I always feel, is collaboration. So while designing the program structures at university, we need to focus on this. Our outcomes are going to change in terms of pedagogy, so that unless and until we map those systematically, it is not going to create an impact. And therefore, when we are talking about creating the subject basket, I think is the knack of university professors and faculty members. Of course, the contribution of industry is, the take has to be very, very high, because unless and until they define what they want, and therefore, Board of Studies, the Center for Industry and Academia Partnership, MOUs, what we have signed with international, national industries or MNCs and universities, I think the time has come to redesign the whole education model to fit it into this framework. Classroom the teaching has gone into the platform teaching. So can we really, even after the normal, I'm sure this will happen, Serum will take a major leap to give us the vaccine and everyone will come back to the campus. But here again, we have taken an effort that every Saturday, we will have the webinars. So everyone, faculty, students, they need to learn these techniques very effectively. So the communication is going to make a huge change in its own processes, and that we need to work on. So how can we integrate this in our course curriculum or program structure is required to be rethink. So subject basket, interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary, these are the new areas, or these are the new way of designing the program structures or programs in campus. And that autonomy which we all have received, being a private education organizations or universities, we really need to rethink on these so that we can offer. And National Education Policy 2020 has given us a lot of freedom and vision also, that what changes we can do it. I think these are the efforts which we do it. We have signed MOU with Adobe, and now definitely we are going to implement those programs in campus. Bosch, we have a workshop of factory setting within the campus. So now this factory setting, especially for the skilling, Bosch is helping us and our student as well. We are signing MOU with TCS to start with the computer program, right? We have announced BTech programs, especially in robotics, artificial intelligence, right? So these have become a core areas, or thermal engineering, right? So these new areas will definitely attract, and even robotics as well. So I think these are the things which we need to really map very well. India has a great opportunity to revamp the complete education, and we need to work on this very meticulously. And therefore, virtual environment and how we can have the collaboration, I think that we really need to take into the consideration. I think this is what I wanted to share it from my side. Thank you so very much, sir.
Thank you. So, Dr. Chattopadhyay, can you please, so I apologize for butchering your name. Can you please come on? Please unmute your mic.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, the most important points have been taken care of by Madam already, and it has got so much of similarity in thinking that how we are also planning and what are the different things which we have implemented. But again, I just want to emphasize one point which is missing, is that the strengthening the social science departments, and the strengthening of the social science department and this integrating with our regular the science, engineering, technology departments are going to come up with some new ideas, which she mentioned about the critical thinking or the creative thinking. Now, once I just want to give one example, what we are practicing over here, that we are actually getting the joint programs with the science and the social science departments, which comes up. So for example, we are actually launched one particular program in this particular period of time about the women empowerment, where both the social science department and our technology departments, they are hand-holding each other and trying to find out what are the new types of work or entrepreneurship could be developed out of it. I find the teamwork, the group teamwork, which is going to help us in this new era, is going to give a new dimension to our education system. Thank you.
Thank you. So, I don't know whether I can ask this question, but if I ask any of the panelists to name just a few platforms, I don't know whether that will enable us to conduct exams with integrity, teach with most effective means. What would be the platforms? Or we shouldn't name anything like that? Can you, Dr. Saili, can you tell us what is the platform you are using?
there are many platforms. We are using WebEx, we are using Google Ion, we are using Google TCS Ion, right? All these classrooms, we are using MOOCs, we are using Moodle. All these are, it depends upon the faculty member. And here the point comes, you need to empower your faculty, let them identify what is more comfortable to them, right? Now, few of our faculty members, they're using Zoomers as well. So Zoom is becoming so easy to go and then conduct the classes, right? Not only that, government, there is a beautiful circular, which I think everyone can go through it. It's been flashed by UGC, and there are the wonderful programs which are designed by them, right? From, someone has mentioned it here, my co-panelists, that's Swayam, Pathshala, Vyas,
Yes,
right? All
yes.
those are really wonderful programs. Not only that, I am very much fond of Coursera since from 2013. I always made, because now Coursera has come very popular in India, but that time I made it a point that all my faculty members, for their performance appraisal and to get the increments, they need to submit the certification from Coursera, right? And that helps us a lot. Today also at my DY Patil University, almost all my faculty members, they have completed minimum 2 programs from the Coursera. I think I request all the participants and universities to ensure that the faculties are first trained in these areas so that they can work effectively. They need to be very, very, we can say that, a very easy the usage of that. There are so many, we can say that the modules and so many the techniques are there which can be utilized and which can create the engagement, 100% engagement of the student. One has to learn. You have started with a wonderful statement that for learning, unlearn is very important, and this is the time we need to unlearn and learn those technology. It's amazing. Ebooks are available, quizzes are available, puzzles are available, magazines are available. EBSCO is one of the database wherein we have given all our passwords and asked our students to download it on their smartphones, right? And I think that's how we need to collaborate. We need to bring all these resources and make an ecosystem which can become more powerful to deliver to ensure the academic delivery, and that's very possible. And I would like to share one, when you were giving an example of medical, the experiment which you are doing. I'm sure you must have seen it on Netflix, that Grey's Anatomy, right? If you look at Grey's Anatomy, it's like you feel like you are in the hospital with all your colleagues and you are doing all those activities. I think these kind of the videos or these kind of sessions now we have to create. Every university has to go technologically. We have to invest in infrastructure. Maybe videos, we need to do it. We need to have the editing rooms so that we can really create a wonderful basket and the knowledge reservoir for the students where they can access it. Yeah. So platforms are available. Please use those wonderful platforms across. There are so many Kahoot and so many of them are available. Just go on these things, and I'm sure that Google is one of the wonderful the platform which helps you, like Skillshare and even LinkedIn. They have Learning X, Linda, so you can go through it. Master classes which are happening across, very interesting. Udemy, right, which is very popular. edxorganization.org, udacity.com, coursera.org, futurelearn.com. Oh my God, so many of them. It is a choice of individual faculty which they would like to identify and pick it up. Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for asking me this wonderful question.
So thank you, ma'am. A question popped up in my face to ask Dr. Ravi Gupta to comment on these platforms. What are the best platforms and so forth.
Well, I'm not equipped to answer this question, I think, but I will be interested to talk something about industry collaboration whenever that question emerges. So I think Professor Chattopadhyay can address this issue with the platforms for higher education.
Chattopadhyay, would you like to say? You had to unmute.
Yeah, regarding these platforms, you know that what we are using, as I mentioned to you at the very beginning, that we have our learning management system, which is basically based on the Moodle. And these MOOCs and Moodles are actually going to help us in a very big way, even with respect to the examination, proctored examination. That is also a part right now we are planning. We have not, it is not available directly into that platform, but you can modify in such a way so that you can, in fact, the mining of the Moodle itself during this period, I find there are a huge scope of that. That normally we use this Blackboard or the particular thing I mentioned about this, the assessment, the quizzes, all these things are going to help in a very big way to contribute into this, our teaching process, the new way of teaching. So I think beyond that AICT's platform and the MHRD given the platforms, which I also mentioned about at the very beginning, and which we are trying to develop in-house also, along with the, basically with the basis of the platform, the Moodle, which is helping us in a very big way. Besides that, in our examination one, we are actually taking help from the IBM. The IBM is helping us in actually making the proctored examination for a larger number of students effective, which we are planning to. It is not yet fully settled down, but we are actually in the process of doing things. But the rest of the things already mentioned by Madam. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I think, there is this societal or cultural trust we need on the fact that, on the reality that we can conduct online education, online assessment, online exams with integrity. And that, so as good as, individually proctored exam. And that's a cultural change, I think. It looks like parents and the society has this mistrust that if the exam is online, then maybe it's not somebody is copying or
No.
elder brother is helping. Elder brother may not know what is being asked in this. And if I didn't have an elder brother, but I wouldn't trust to do my exam. So all these are fiction, I think. So. Online actually platforms provide a better education than the traditional education, and better ways to evaluate and revise syllabuses and connect internationally, connect with the best experts in the world. All that we can do in the online platform. Last week I had an Australian professor who is an endowed chair in the University Technology. He was my classmate in undergraduate days in Sri Lanka. He's a world expert in robotics. He didn't get into robotics 2-3 years ago. He was working in robotics for the last 30 years. And he came online and gave 2 lectures. And it was wonderful to see my own classmate lecturing my colleagues coming from Australia. So otherwise it would have been a major undertaking to bring him from Sydney to Bengaluru. To have this, and it's very costly, and he did it more or less out of generosity. So online platform, online ways of education is for here, and that is the future. So with that, I can give back to the organizers. We had a great discussion. Nagaraj, you may want to make some comments, and then.
Yeah, just a finishing bunch of pointers, since I represent Adobe, and a couple of points that I'd like to highlight upon is the fact that fundamentally most of you would be looking at building online infrastructure. That's the first and foremost important aspect of the educational ecosystem that's required today. So I wouldn't prescribe anything to you per se, but I think it's important for you to identify what works for you depending on the lowest common denominator in your classroom. Not all fingers are of the same size and shape. Some people are learners of text, some people learn by voice, some people learn through looking at videos, some people learn just by being repetitive as an area. And analytics, learner analytics becomes very, very critical in this space. So having two aspects of online infrastructure. When I say online infrastructure, for creating online content as professors. Today content is democratized. People wouldn't or students wouldn't like you copying a Google page 21 or 23 and putting it on your LMS. That's not education, right? And people are smart enough, or students are smart enough today to figure out, whether it's your own content or it's just being, Control C and a Control V into your LMS as an area. That's the first aspect of it. There's a necessity for you to share your perspectives, and that's what students look forward to. Over there, you could look at content creation tools. There are umpteen number of e-learning content creation tools, some of them from Adobe as well, namely Captivate and Presenter. It's very powerful, very effective, easy, intuitive in nature. That's the first aspect. The second aspect of it is look at easy to access LMSs, learning management systems, which can easily scale, because today you have the power of scaling outside the regulatory framework as well, because there are so many unfortunate parts of us society who don't even have access to the formal education system. You could look at sharing your knowledge, and sharing your knowledge has got a direct impact of students getting to know what is your strength, what is your weakness, or so to speak, from a SWOT analysis standpoint, it's a direct marketing for you as well. The third aspect of it is in terms of video concept. Today education is not just about getting on a video classroom and delivering live. It's about sharing and interacting and collaboratively bringing in the cohesiveness in terms of participating in the learning process. What you can probably share through a PPT can be shared offline as well, and can be shared well in advance, and you can assess the readiness of a classroom and then interact. And that is what I do whenever I go in for a guest lecturing from an industry standpoint. And that's also a few things that I could share with you. Yes, we do have learning management system from Adobe, what we call as Captivate Prime. We do have offerings called as Adobe Connect. These have been there for ages. Please make use of it. Feel free to reach out to me. Last but not the least, the virtual labs part of it, because practicality is something that I've been emphasizing on in every forum that I go to. Emphasis on practicality today under the current circumstances. Yes, we have limitations. Can everybody have labs at their home? Answer is practically not possible. Can you virtualize it? Answer is yes, you can look at it. In many cases, labs technically mean software access. In many cases, it is about virtualized learning experiences. Today, softwares like Captivate Prime and many of them help you to go and learn click by click in terms of different steps and processes. In terms of, it could be a mechanical software, it could be something to do with chemistry as a process from a lab standpoint. So there are various ways and means by which you could look at it in terms of teaching using technology as a medium. Needless to say, for students who are coming in from design and architecture background.
What about biology?
Sorry, I'm not a specialist in that space, but I'm sure I can connect you to somebody who can help you in that area. Talking about the new age, parts of it, like the design as a fraternity, communications as a fraternity, computer science engineering as an area where you're looking at some new age skills on the AR, VR side of it, or anything to do with visual effects and animation. Adobe today has gone to the next level. We are bringing in the lab from home model for students on Creative Cloud. We have brought in the student access model to the entire fraternity of education. For more details, please talk to me. I've left my contact details on the chat pod. If there are anything else that I could help you with on technical writing for advanced technical universities who are looking at tech writing as a space, yeah, we do have lab from home kind of a models as an area. I'll pause at that. There are umpteen number of possibilities. Just have an open mind, ask the industry, and I'm sure there'll be every unique problem will have a unique solution to it. Thank you so much. Back to you, Dr. Guru.
Thank you. So this in the last several months, at least 4 or 5 months, have been a major cultural change for my university, and I'm sure the same for my colleagues. And we have learned initially shocked about the challenges we faced, and then we very quickly adjusted, and we learned from the other vice chancellors and other technologists how to move to this new medium. And we have learned that we can connect with the best in the world and bring them right here to interact with our students and faculty. And we are also learning the opportunities so that we can reach the most deprived regions and economically and regionally deprived regions also we can reach with and provide the scholarship and education. So this is what is ahead of us is a very bright and exciting future, and I am sure the educational world is going to look very different in a year from now. Thank you very much.
Yes. Let me extend my gratitude to all our speakers, eminent speakers. Professor Shivguru, thanks for moderating so nicely. Suprit, thanks for bringing in the industry perspective. And to Dr. Sally Gankar for excellent interventions, and Professor Dhrupjyoti Chattopadhyay for your excellent inputs. And our other panelists who I think are not available right now. And thanks to all the audience who have joined on Zoom and also been live on Facebook and YouTube. And requesting the audience that if you have liked this interaction, you can like and share it on your social media, so that the gem of knowledge and experiences which has emerged from this panel reaches to a lot more people, and a lot more people get inspired for using more digital interventions in education. So with this, we will end this session here, and we are having regular sessions like this every week on education, especially the digital aspects of education. So requesting the audience to keep us tracking our social handles, and you will see the updates. With this, thank you so much, all the speakers and all the audience. Namaskar.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Nagaraju. Thank you, Gupta.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Shut up, but thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for the effort.
We'll meet in person soon.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. All of us should be.
All-
Yeah.
Well,
And yeah, it's
Thank
really a nice learning experience for us.
thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Madam, thank you. Thank you,
Thank you
all
so
of you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nagaraju.
Yeah, thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you.